Right, here's Bless the Lord by Jared Anderson in the key of E, keyed up from the key of D. We do it a little bit higher here at our church, so this is how we play it. And then after that, everything repeats. So let me go through it part by part for you. The intro part is just like this. Okay, so it's just on the 3rd string, on the 9th fret, 11, 13, 16, 14, 11, 13, 9, just like that. And then when it gets a little bit bigger, you see me doing this. It's really the same thing. I'm just resting my 1st finger on top of the strings, kind of muting them so that my 4th finger grabs that note and everything else is muted, just so you can dig in a little bit more. So that's the intro. The verses, verse 1, just kind of lands on that E. You just sweep through that chord. And then there's that one tiny little lick in there that you just hear like that. And it's on the 3rd string, starting on the 2nd fret, then hammering onto the 4th. That's just right before, kind of right in the middle of the verse there. And then there's another part in the verse where, it's just a single note riff. And it's on the 4th string, on the 6th fret. So that's that part for verse 1. It's very simple. It's just on the 6th fret to the 7th fret, 6, and then 7, 9, 6, and then it kind of walks up to the 7 again, 6, 7, 6, 7, 9, 6. So that's for the verse. Now the chorus has a lead line similar to the intro, but slightly different. So again, you'll see me using the shape. Excuse me, that note. But I'm muting all the other strings, so it's just the 3rd string on the 9th fret, and then it goes up to the 11th, then the 13th, and then the 16th, and then it goes 9, 11, 13, 9, and it goes 9, 11, 13, and then 14 on the 2nd string, and then 11 on the 1st string, 12 on the 2nd string, and then that's where it does that fast picking part. But let me summarize that for you. It sounds like this. Forgive the little strikes in there and the missed notes, but that's the general idea. And then the fast picking part starts on the 12th fret of the 1st string. So it's just 12, 11, and then 12 on the 2nd string. So then it starts back on the 12th, goes 14, and then the 12th on the 2nd string, and then 12th, 11th, back to the 12th on the 2nd string, and then back to the intro riff. So that whole chorus all together sounds like this. Then back into the intro. Okay, now verse 2 comes on a part. It just lands on that E again, but again there's an alternate chord here. In the key of E, it's going to be a C sharp minor, and so there's a little lead in. This is halfway through the verse that leads to that C sharp minor. It kind of sounds something like this. Something like that. You're just grabbing your E, going to the D sharp, and then down to the B, and then coming up to the C sharp. That's just a little thing to build it, going from that E shape down to the C shape. It's just something that transitions. Something like that. But then the second half of the verse 2, so you just kind of hammer on that C sharp there, 5th string on the 4th fret, and then you leave it open for an A, and grab a B, and then go to the E there. So just kind of simple one-note stuff. Okay, so that's the verse 2 part, the second half. And then the chorus again is the exact same. And then there's the instrumental part that sounds like this. So it starts on the 3rd string on the 6th fret, and it goes to the 8th fret, then to the 9th, and then on the 2nd string, the 12th fret, still on the 2nd string, back to the 9th fret, and then the 11th fret on the 1st string, and then the 12th fret on the 2nd string, and then the 11th fret on the 3rd string, and then it slides up to the 14th. If you think of that little shape as like a D shape right there, then it repeats. And it kind of does this little sliding chord. So your 2nd finger is on the 13th fret of the 3rd string, and your 1st finger is on the 12th fret of the 1st string. And you'll slide your 2nd finger down to the 11th fret, and then your 3rd finger will take the 11th fret of the 1st string. Okay, and then same pattern happens again. Except this time, instead of like your D shape, it's going to go to the D sus shape. So it starts on the 12th fret of the high E, like that. Okay. And then that same shape that we worked on, and then it goes up to the 16th and the 14th. And then it finally resolves on the 14th and the 12th. So all together again. And then it goes into a light chorus, and you come back in with fast picking stuff, and then back into the intro, and you're good.